Greetings. I'm Dr. Gregory Kiertين, co-founder, president, and chief ESG officer for Insecurity, a new global environmental risk management company located in London, Cape Town, and Silicon Valley. I'd first like to thank the organizers of the Digital Economy Forum, the Council of Arab Economic Unity, the Arab Federation for Digital Economy, and especially Dr. Al-Khoury for organizing this important event. It is my honor to participate, and I greatly look forward to participating again in the near future, hopefully in person. I've been asked to provide some insights into the impact of climate change on the Arab region economy. This is indeed timely. As we carefully emerge from the last 2 years of the global pandemic, I believe we will no doubt see a renewed and focused energy around climate change. The World Economic Forum in January released its 2022 Global Risks Report. This report synthesizes the input and perspectives of more than 1,000 global experts across the full spectrum of economic, political, business, and regional interests. I've participated in this report previously, and I can attest to its thoughtfulness and rigor. Underscoring this renewed focus on climate change, the 5 most critical global threats identified in the report all relate to climate change and the environment. 1. Climate action failure. 2. Extreme weather. 3. Biodiversity loss. 4. Human environmental damage. And 5. Natural resources crises. Similarly, the World Health Organization has called out climate change as the single biggest health threat facing humanity. And climate change is having a massive impact on the global financial front as well. Just 2 years ago, Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with more than 10 trillion under management, made the profound statement that climate risk is investment risk. In his recent 2022 letter to investors, Mr. Fink noted that over the past 2 years, there has been a tectonic shift of capital into sustainable investments, and that tectonic shift is still accelerating into the future. Finally, the United Nations, coming out of its 2021 climate conference, COP26, has emphasized that climate change continues to be perceived as the greatest threat to humanity. With that backdrop, I'd like to take a few minutes to note how climate change is directly impacting the Arab region, its environment, its people, and its economy. The UNDP has reported that the Arab region is seeing temperatures rise faster than the global average. Temperatures are expected to rise by as much as 4 degrees Celsius, about 7.2 degrees Fahrenheit, by the end of the century. These numbers may sound small, but in terms of climate risk, they are massive. Climate change in general, and the rapidly rising temperatures specifically, exacerbate a range of extreme weather events that are particularly threatening to the Arab region. Some of these risks include extreme heat. Over just the past few years, record temperatures have been recorded across the region. Extreme storms, including sandstorms, dust storms, and windstorms. The World Meteorological Organization has witnessed a significant increase in both the frequency and the intensity of sand and dust storms in the region over the past 2 decades. Wildfires, drought, and water insecurity. According to the World Resources Institute, the Arab region is the most water-stressed region of the globe and is home to 12 of the 17 most water-stressed countries. What does this all mean for the region and for its economy? As just one example, the World Bank estimates that water-stressed regions such as the Arab region could see their gross domestic product decline as much as 6% by 2050 due to water-related impacts on agriculture, health, and incomes. That is significant. Given the unique characteristics of the Arab region, rapid population growth, an increasingly young population, accelerated urbanization, and ongoing economic diversification, These and other climate change-driven impacts, including rising sea levels, flooding, land degradation and desertification, and others, could have lasting impacts on the region, if not mitigated. Some of these critical impacts include power disruption as a result of extreme storm events, for example. This alone can have dire consequences for families, businesses, and national economies. Everyday public health impacts, including respiratory illnesses resulting from heat, dust, and pollution, extreme heat exposure, and rapid spread of air and waterborne disease. We've already seen what a public health crisis can do to economies with the global COVID pandemic. Supply chain disruption, including disruption to production, raw materials, and transportation networks. The impacts of climate change and environmental risks extend to larger macro-level issues as well, including population movement and migration, especially involuntary movements as a result of extreme heat, drought, natural disasters, and such. Food and water insecurity, social cohesion, unrest as a result of food and water insecurity, public health issues, income insecurity, economic crises at the local and national levels, and finally, even extending into regional conflicts. As the World Economic Forum noted, those 5 global climate change threats, climate action failure, extreme weather, biodiversity loss, human environmental damage, and natural resource crises, are the drivers, the aggravators, if you will, of these severe impacts on people, the environment, and the economy of the region. So, given the current global context, and to set the stage for 2022 and going forward, and in line with the objectives of the forum to look for ways of bridging the digital divide across the region, what is our call to action? Well, first, the Arab region as a whole and its individual governments should take a formal ESG, environment, social, and governance approach to all public investments and initiatives. As global market makers like BlackRock have shown, sustainable investment has the added benefit of supporting the adoption of new technologies, clean and green business practices, and accelerating digital transformation. Second, the region should similarly encourage, possibly require, the adoption of emerging global ESG standards and strategies by private businesses and industries throughout the region. This alone would have a major positive impact for the future economy. Third, and this is something tactical that the region could start in on straight away, create a local, national, and regional approach to monitoring, predicting, and managing climate risk. I don't mean simply collecting environmental data, but rather deploying a true environmental risk management platform and network for critical infrastructure, water, power and utilities, transportation, agriculture, natural resources, and so on. This entails the use of cutting-edge but currently available technologies, including IoT sensor networks to generate real-time geo and location data, such as temperature, air quality, ground movement and vibration, precipitation, asset and people movement and motion. The relevant data sources are endless. We could also use artificial intelligence and machine learning to take all that data and over time provide predictive capabilities. For example, to understand when, where, and how intense the next extreme storm will impact a city, a transportation system, a power grid. We can use drone and satellite technologies for capturing real-time imagery and other terrestrial data. And we can use a range of other digital technologies such as cloud and edge computing, data analytics, and the like for this environmental risk management network. This kind of regional or national environmental risk management platform would no doubt be a model for other countries and regions across the globe and put the Arab region in a leadership position. Finally, looking to the future, we should embed climate change awareness and ESG learnings into the education system at all levels, so our next generation of business leaders, entrepreneurs, government leaders, and policymakers are ready, able, and willing to take real action on climate change. With this bold call to action, I'd like to once again thank the Digital Economy Forum for having me, and I wish you all the best for the success of the forum and its outcomes. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again all soon, in person, to continue this important work. Thank you.